Sorry about that. Good morning. Today is Tuesday, February 21st. Welcome to our Board of Public Works and Safety meeting. We are filming and streaming this on City of Madison YouTube channel. Clerk, may I have a roll call, please?
Eaglin.
Here.
Courtney.
Here.
Carlo.
Here.
All right, thank you. Board, any comments or amendments to our meetings from February the 6th? If not, we will entertain a motion to approve minutes as presented.
I'll make a motion that the minutes be approved as submitted.
I'll second David's motion.
Okay. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. Moving on to claims.
Mayor, I've had an opportunity to review the claims. I'll make a motion that the claims be approved as submitted.
I'll second David's.
Okay. Any comments or questions? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. Moving on, we have unfinished business. What is on the table are fire department changes to SOPs. It's been tabled. Do we want to take that off the table or leave it on the table till the next meeting?
We still have departments, companies reviewing the SOPs, and I think we just need to table it once again until we get all the feedback from the different companies.
Would we be prepared to take all or part of the SOPs up at the next Board of Public Works meeting so we can deal with a portion of them at least and move the project forward?
Our goal is to do that,
Okay.
to work on, maybe not all of them, but some of them by the next meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We'll leave it on the table then. Brian, new business, SRF distribution request number 11.
I've just got one distribution request from Commonwealth Engineers. It's SRF request number 11, dated January 31st. It's for the environmental scientists used during the project, and the amount is of the invoice is $504.31. The amount of the distribution will be $504.
Okay. Move that we approve SRF disbursement request number 11 as presented.
Mayor, I'll second that motion.
Any discussion, comments, or questions? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Thank you.
Brian, thank you very much. All right, moving on, we have a alley vacation request by Scott and Susan Kerner. Jim Pruitt, real estate broker, is here representing them. Morning, Jim.
Good morning. How's everybody doing today?
Good.
Does everybody have a copy of this application form that we did?
Yes.
Okay, we've had several copies here. So basically, we have had the property on the market for a while since the shrimp house closed down. We received an offer to purchase that was acceptable to the seller. One of the conditions in the offer was that the alley be vacated between the parking lot and the property that the building's on. The new owners would like to combine the two parcels into one parcel. Their desire is to operate this as a restaurant. It is not my client. I'm working with the seller only, so I don't have a lot of information on the buyer itself. Okay. So we've made a formal application to vacate that alley. That alley is approximately 80 foot long, runs from Ferry Street west to the creek. And I don't believe there's any utilities on there. Scott was surprised that there was even an alley there. On the legal description, when we looked it up, it was maybe a little bit ambiguous to whether it had been vacated previously or not. We could not find any records that it had been vacated. So it appears that they, in the deed, in that last sentence of the deed, where it says also conveying a portion. Well, we talked to the attorney that did the title search, and he said, I did not find any record of it being vacated. So his recommendation was go ahead and request the vacation.
This is a little bit of a strange one, because that language has been on the deed for at least 60 years. However, we can't find where or how it got put on there.
Okay.
Through any kind of a vacation process. So we have done the search and have seen that, and so it does appear that the intent is that it was vacated. We can't find that it was, so this is really, instead of almost a new vacation, it could almost be seen as a cleanup.
Yeah.
Of what was already done.
And there are no utilities or anything
Now,
going through this.
Scott was very surprised when
Yeah.
I said, hey, you got an alley running through your parking lot. And he's a guy that, well, I had no clue. So, and then it dead ends at that creek. Now, if you're looking at the plat map, the GIS, The adjacent property recently sold. When they redrew that, there is a mistake on the current GIS. If you'll look at the copy of the GIS we had from previously, it is correct, and it is 80 foot. And if you measure that with the tools on GIS, it goes from Ferry Street and it stops on the east side of the creek there.
East side of the creek, okay.
East side of the creek, yeah.
Good.
So it does not cross the creek, does not include that section of the roadway that the hotel uses.
Okay. And Brian Jackson's here with our superintendent of utilities. I looked at it, and I believe maybe you've already confirmed too, Brian, there are no utilities in that. Yep. Okay. Jim, the application's in order. The first step in the process is for a recommendation to City Council by the Board of Public Works and Safety. And then it'll work its way through council in an ordinance form, as well as a public hearing for the second reading. I will, let me put this out there. I'll move that we make a favorable recommendation to City Council for the application by Scott and Susan Kerner for the alley vacation. If I could get a second, we'll open up for discussion.
I'll second that motion, Mayor.
Okay, now let's open up for discussion. Any comments or questions to Jim about the vacation or the process? Any comments or questions from the audience? All in favor for the alley vacation, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. We'll start the ordinance process. That'll have its first reading at the first meeting in March. We'll also advertise by then too, Jim, the public hearing. And ideally, we'll take care of both the public hearing and the second and third reading of the ordinance at the second meeting in March.
Okay.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving on, we have a couple of resolutions. Joe?
First one is resolution number 4B, 2023, resolution of the Board of Public Works and Safety of the City of Madison, Indiana, regarding street closure for the 2023 farmers market. Whereas there's been a request filed by Gina Johnson on behalf of the Madison Farmers Market
Yeah, mine didn't have
and
numbers on
Madison
it. 4B?
Master Program
Okay.
for a street and sidewalk closure for said group of completion of the
5B.
Farmers Market to be held every Saturday from May 6, 2023 to September 23rd, 2023. Now therefore be resolved by the Board of Public Works and Safety of the City of Madison, Indiana, that the following street and sidewalk shall be closed from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. every Saturday from March 6, 2023 through September 23rd, 2023. The southbound, northbound lanes of Broadway Street from the north side of Main Street to the south side of Third Street, and the sidewalk on the north side of Main Street between 408 Broadway Street, between Main Street and 408 Broadway Street.
Unfortunately, Gina couldn't be here this morning representing Farmers Market. She's at the Leadership Jefferson County meeting today. I'll handle this for her. This is a standard request for their weekend closure for the summer farmers market, as Joe had indicated, from May through September. It's identical to the closure we had given to them in previous years. I will move that we approve resolution 4B-2023.
I'll second the mayor's motion.
Any discussion? Comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you.
And assuming the board is okay with them, let's skip the formality
Yep.
on the next one, which is 5B 2023. And this is just strictly a request for the farmers market on Chautauqua weekend. The only difference is they're extending the hours from 7 to 3.
Yes. Yes, and on this one, Chautauqua is moving back a week, so it's a week later this year, which is prompting the change in the hours for that particular day. I'll move that we approve resolution 5B-2023 on behalf of the Madison Farmers Market.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, any discussion? Comments or questions? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. Thank you, Gina. And moving on. Unsafe structures update. Dewey and Landon and Nicole, if she's here. Okay. We have an unsafe structures update, it looks like, on a few properties that you'll walk us through now.
Yep, I'll let the guys lead the presentation and we'll be here for questions.
Thank you.
Just click.
Good morning, everyone.
wanted to talk, we invited the owners of these 3 properties. We did speak with Mr. Moore at 319 Craigmont. I was out last Thursday and Friday for some surgery, so I didn't get his voicemail till this morning, but I'll let Landon talk about each one. We will begin with 319. Landon spoke at length with him too, but initially we had sent out a letter, like we do always, informing him of the status. The owner responded, but no inspection was scheduled. We sent a letter out from the attorney. We invited them today. Remains unsafe, and I'll let Landon.
So currently, I'll back up just a little bit. Currently, we have 103 unsafe structure, active cases right now.
How many?
103
Okay.
unsafe structure.
While you're talking about it, I know that we all know the vernacular of an unsafe structure, but just for edification purposes, you want to describe what an unsafe structure is, because it's much broader than, a structure that is collapsing.
Absolutely. So majority of unsafe structurers are abandoned, so that is one of the aspects that makes it an unsafe structure. Structurally is not just the only part of the unsafe piece of it. They can be abandoned, they can be dilapidated, they can be in disrepair, they can have people living in them that the owner doesn't know they're living in them. So there's many cases. A lot of them are off of dilapidated and just neglected structures. So that's where the case will start. But it can be any kind of hazard to public health, safety, or welfare.
And it doesn't have to just be for that property. It can be a hazard for the surrounding areas. You're talking about health, life, or safety, not just for someone that might be in that premise, but someone that be surrounding the premise, correct?
Exactly.
Okay.
They
All right.
affect the neighbors. They affect the entire street.
Okay, thank you.
So the first property we're talking about is 319 Craigmont. I actually just spoke with these people. We did invite them to the Board of Public Works meeting. And what brought us to this is you guys have a packet up there, the pictures of it. It does have several parts that are not in contact with the sill plate. The owner said that the living room part is uninhabitable. They just said that they have moved out of it. It was, to my understanding, until we talked to them this morning, that they were still living in it. So the property will be abandoned, and they will be looking to sell it at 319 Craigmont.
So, have you done an inspection on this particular property?
I have not, but
Okay.
they just scheduled one with me.
Okay, so they are cooperating with an inspection?
Yes.
Good, okay.
So they will. I mentioned inspection warrant, and they said that they would schedule an inspection.
And their intentions are to sell the property?
Yes.
Okay.
Landon, is the property repairable?
I wouldn't know until I get in. They said the front part of it, which is the living room, probably needs to be removed, is what the owner said.
Okay.
That's the part that's exposed to the elements, right?
Yeah, the front part right there that you see on Craigmont Street.
We have some other pictures like you're talking about being separated from sill plate.
Yeah, you can see where repairs have been done. They have added concrete, and it's still open to the
Okay.
elements.
Okay. What's the timing on doing the inspection or for them putting it up for sale?
In the next 2 weeks, we're going to do an inspection. They plan to sell it within the next month.
Okay.
The owner has some health problems, and they just can't find the help to get the rest of the stuff out of it.
Okay.
So our next house is 307 Hendricks. We have been working this case since October. It has been abandoned. The pictures that you guys have, you can see that there's an opening in the bottom of the garage door. There is the back screen door or storm door is open. The back sliding glass door is open. From the time that we had inspected it prior to now, someone has put a sleeping bag up over top of it, try to keep some of the weather out of it. So what we are asking is, well, what we plan to do is, remove all the debris, make sure there's not any, vermin in there, make sure nobody's living in it, and then seal it up.
Are you saying as part of the abatement process with the owner's cooperation, you intend to do that? Or is this, one that we're not getting cooperation from the owner and we'll have to self-abate?
We will have to self-abate this. We have had, all of our letters have been returned to sender.
Just a little history on the structure. I know the people that lived there, and he passed away several years ago. And I think his son was in the process of getting this legally put in his name, and he passed away. And the rest of the family, I do not know if there is anymore. The son was single at the time, so I don't know if there's any family here.
It's interesting, because before Landon came on board, it was a nuisance case for me. Well, it's a neglected property. It was a nuisance case because of grass and weeds, but now that seems to be getting done. But yet the property is, the structure itself is neglected, but it is, so someone's taking care of it. We can't find it.
You know, sometimes in these cases, the neighbors take care of doing that.
Well, question for them.
The property card goes to 307 Hendricks.
Was there any bills on that? Did you?
I'd just be curious if this is coming up for tax sale
We will look into all that.
or not.
Yeah.
Because if nobody was living, doesn't right to them, it's probably the next logical step. But, with that being said, in order to do any of those things, we've gotta have we gotta go through the notice procedure, and even if they don't claim it, we still have to go through that procedure, schedule the hearing before the Board of Works, and request those things to be done.
Okay.
We didn't have someone here from representing that committee.
Okay.
Okay.
So we'll look for that perhaps at a near,
But I guess I would
Future DPW.
suggest, let's look at where it is. If it happens to be on the tax sale, I don't know where the next tax sale is. I mean, that's a potential, could be a potential solution if somebody were to purchase it.
okay.
Next
Good
is,
suggestion.
1483 West Hutchinson Lane. It is in the same spot as, same place as the Hendricks house. It did go to tax sale, but it is still unsafe. The porch on the outside of it, people have been knocking out the posts, so there's 2 posts left holding it up, and the structure needs to be sealed up.
Okay. Wow. In the future, let's put the pictures we're seeing in the presentation so we can show what the condition of the property is. This is really bad. Thank you.
Okay. Is there anybody here from 1483?
And that's in the city limits?
Yes,
Okay,
right on the line.
right on the line, okay. Oh, okay, I see where it's south there, on Old Hutchinson Lane, okay. Well, keep up the good work. I mean, I'm a little surprised there's so many. We didn't know there were that many, and once you really start applying standards and looking for the problems, the universe of problems is pretty large, both downtown and on the hilltop. And you've done a really good job. You both have done a very good job of managing dozens and dozens of claims. I think Dewey, maybe you had mentioned how many cases you've been managing, or you did in 2022, and it was several hundred, wasn't it?
470 cases in 22.
And then I know at the next Board of Public Works meeting, we'll be talking about a real problem property downtown that you've recently received an inspection warrant for, and we'll talk further about that at the next Board of Public Works meeting. But the only way to eradicate these unsafe structures is to have our eyes on them and work collaboratively with the property owners preferably. And when that fails, we have to follow the necessary steps in order to abate the unsafe or nuisance element ourselves. And that's what you're doing, so appreciate all the work you're doing.
Thank you.
Any questions, guys, before
So-
you guys leave?
On the Hutchinson Lane property, so going forward, what's our next step? I mean, where are we at on this?
As Joe had outlined for Hendricks and this property, if we're going to order an abatement that is not then complied with, and we take action ourselves, we'll have to follow that process through Board of Public Works, and I'm assuming having a hearing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's no different than the ones we've had before, where we had one on Main Street, had a couple of others, but, the building inspector will present a, order of notice to do what he recommends to be done with the structure, and you guys have to make the determination and outline the facts that you made your determination as to what actions to take, whether to seal it, polish it, whatever it is, I think there are 4 or 5 actions
Yeah.
that you can take.
We haven't had to do a lot of forced abatement. Normally you get eventual owner cooperation, but I think up on Pinehurst was maybe a more recent example, didn't we? I thought we ended up cleaning that property up. Oh, she did that? Oh, good, okay. I know that we took a lot of steps and presentations here in Board of Public Works, and the owner of the property was here, but it sounds like eventually she cooperated and did the cleanup that we didn't have to, but there's a methodical approach to it, and the last thing we want to do is force anyone to do anything. We want them to do the right thing collaboratively, but we also have to be prepared to take action in order to abate the unsafe nature of the building.
And we did bring these to the meeting because we have not had cooperation. 319 Craigmont, we got cooperation today, the day of the meeting. The
Okay.
others, we have not.
Okay. Thank you for keeping us posted and for all your work on this. It's important.
Thank you.
All right, moving on, we have a Crystal Beach change order.
Yes. While working through the cleanup punch list process to close out the grant, we found a couple of change orders that were not on the last change order, so these are the last ones. There's 5 on this, totaling $19,292. Many of these items will be paid reimbursed back to the city by the design team.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with all of these because they dealt with our closeout and requirements we needed for the occupancy permit for some fire suppression in the elevator, and then others with regards to just the acoustics in the space.
Correct, yes.
Yeah, some cleanup. And for this change order, it's $19,292 total, bringing us to a new contract amount after the negative change order to $2,389,885.
I'll make the motion, we approve the Crystal Beach change order.
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion, comments, or questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. And moving on to PACE 308 East Third.
Yes, 308 East Third is requesting their full disbursement of $3,520 for their work that they completed, which is the replacement of the front door. This is the befores, and then their new door, which received both approval from Historic Board as well as PACE. They've completed all of the work according to their PACE grant. The disbursement will be made to Eric Shuck, the property owner.
Looks very nice.
Looks very nice.
I'll make a motion to approve the PACE final for 308 East Third.
I'll second that motion.
Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? Thank you.
That's all I have, thank you.
Okay. Under mayor's comments, I would like to take a minute here. I know that Troy Morgan couldn't be with us today, but I would like to acknowledge EMA Week and thank Troy and his staff for all of their great service across our community. You know, we've lived through two disasters in a very short period of time. First being the beginning of COVID in March of 2020 that lasted a couple of years. Then simultaneous with that, and the emergency response was going on concurrently, was the flash flood in the summer of 21, June 18th of 21, I believe, might be the exact date. Is that right, Chief, if you remember? June of 2021, which prompted middle of the night water rescues, an extended emergency response for those who had been displaced, and the recovery effort after, you know, the emergency response was over. So I'd like to read Governor Holcomb's proclamation, and that is, to all whom these presents may come, whereas emergency management agencies are a vital public service to the communities of Indiana, and every emergency begins and ends locally, such as the COVID-19 pandemic that has impacted all 92 counties. And whereas personnel from 92 emergency management agencies across the state are part of the first line of response to natural and man-made disasters, and whereas emergency managers help draft disaster response plans, organize trainings that include first responders and other community partners to practice response plans, draft plans that help minimize the impact of disasters, work with state and federal agencies on assistance programs, and find the most effective methods of disaster recovery. It is important for Hoosiers to recognize the dedication and accomplishments of these highly trained professionals. This was proclaimed by Governor Eric Holcomb for EMA Appreciation Week, which is February the 19th through the 25th. In addition to the two disasters in Madison, obviously, Jefferson County had a flash flood late last summer as well. That did involve the loss of life. And Troy, and working with IDHS and our first responders, all did a fantastic job in responding to that emergency, but also helping people recover from it. So I couldn't say enough about all of our public safety personnel, but this is a week to recognize Troy Morgan and his team's efforts and all of those other EMA agencies across the state that respond to these disasters, man-made or natural, whenever they happen. I'd also like to mention that tomorrow we're again celebrating another milestone. We will have a groundbreaking for Gaines Park. This is Black History Month, and we're recognizing the role that Gaines Park and the Broadway School has played in Madison's history. And that'll be at 5:30 tomorrow. We'll be announcing a upgrade to Gaines Park that's been in the planning stages now for a couple of weeks. So we'll have a program, short program, connected with Gaines Park tomorrow at 5:30. Board, do you have anything to add before we open up to public comment?
No, I like
Nope.
down the riverfront to see the new overlook and all that taking shape. It's starting to look good. Getting tested today with some floodwaters. Let's see how it goes.
So Ohio River is up about 10 feet, it seems like, from where it normally has been this winter. Anything, Dave?
Nope. Just all the work that's going on around town, all the projects, taking shape, so.
We'll talk about that offline if you don't mind.
Okay.
We'll maybe bring it to the next meeting.
Okay.
All right, now we have an opportunity for public comment. Anybody here wanting to address Board of Public Works and Safety can come to the podium and identify yourself and express what is on your mind today. Our next meeting will be Monday, March the 6th. We're already rolling quickly into spring. We do have a city council meeting tonight because of the holiday yesterday. Hopefully everybody enjoyed President's Day. But hearing no other business, I'll move that we adjourn. And our next meeting is March the 6th.
I'll second the mayor's motion.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thanks, everyone.